Hello and welcome to Sin.bc, where right now is 1833, and if you think that I'm a bit higher up, well, good notice of you, sir and madam, but that is because I'm currently having new shoes that I'm trying to walk in, so if you hear some steps on the floor, that's probably just me having shoes on when I regularly do not do that. And why do I have new shoes on? Well, because today I was out and I was fixing a new suit for graduation. And you know how it goes. When you stand there, when you're walking around, you see different stuff, you look different stuff, you try out different stuff. You're there for like 6 hours, even though you could have sufficiently been there for 20 minutes. But I like being in the store, right? That's just the person that I am. So I was testing some things out, and well, needless to say, I was walking home with more than I anticipated that I would buy when I came there, which is most often the case. Also a reason for why I don't go and buy clothes that often, because when I do, boy, do I buy clothes. Anyway. But there's nothing quite extraordinary, there's nothing quite like it as buying a new suit, is there? Especially when you know that it is for a nice occasion. You can go out and pick the exact one, you can ask all of this fancy stuff, like, oh, can it be tailor-made? Can you take my, can you take my measurements? Is that okay? And then you kind of start doing the suit dance, and you all know what I'm talking about. You've all probably done it. Not that any sane person would do that regularly, right, when they own the suit, but when they're trying out it, especially the jacket, you're standing there like, yeah, they want to see if everything fits, as if, oh, if I do this, if I do that, and they do poses that you never do usually, yeah? If you have a jacket on, if you have your full suit on, they try to do like these things, see if the arms lift and then the entire jacket lift, and you're like, oh, well, this seems to be pretty good. Whilst other people are standing there next to you and be like, well, do you ever raise your hands like that in a natural environment when you have a suit on? And you're just like, no, probably not, but I'm just gonna try out to see if it actually works. What if it would break? That would be most unfortunate, no, wouldn't it? And all of those good stuff. But as I said, there is nothing quite like it to actually buying a new suit. And these terms are probably not mutually exclusive. Most often or not, they're probably joint. I'm gonna take a new profile picture as well. That's gonna be the new biggest thing, right? I'm saying profile picture, I'm meaning a picture for my resume, because I don't have a proper one. I know it's haunting me, and I believe that's the reason for why I'm sending out all of these applications for a job, and they're just returning it with like, yeah, probably not you. Could be that, or because I mentioned that, hey, I'm kind of doing YouTube on my resume. Yeah, is that a good thing? No, it's not, but it's, at least you can see that I can work with my own schedule and that I'm organized. Anyway, mates, anyway. That's not what we're going to talk about, though. We're going to move into something that is kind of jointly connected to the entire idea of walking around in a store. Something that I have had on me notes for a while now, yeah? Some things that I would like to interact with. I'm just going to put this on silent so that I don't disturb myself. And that is the entire discussion and the entire idea around losing weight to look nice. This is going to be a very controversial opinion video. I don't think I need to mention that, right, before we start. But I'm going to talk about the entire mentality of society and losing weight, so to say. So if you think, that that is not for you, if you think that, well, I'm very offended talking about my own or others' weights, and I think that everybody should be happy just as they look. Well, happy just as they look, I would tend to agree with this entire idea with, losing weight, and I would step away if I were you, yeah? Just to establish some context here. I'm probably really harsh in my opinion, yeah? Anyway, let's move on. Because what I was encountering, when I was out, walking in the store, having a bit of a jolly old time, I was walking there, I was checking things out, I was like, oh, this looks nice, throwing that away, picking something else up, well, this looks nice, and this looks nice. Now, if I hadn't said that I was actually out shopping today, you would probably think something along the lines of, wow, you have a lot of clothes on your floor. That's interesting, to say the least. But I go around, I walk around, I check all of these things out. And then I hear someone in one of the testing rooms, saying like, does this fit me? And I'm like, not necessarily that's a woman that says that. There are plenty of men saying it as well. I'm using a different kind of voice to illustrate that it is another person. Yeah, kind of a character. But I'm walking around and I'm hearing a high-pitched man saying like, honey, does this fit me? And I'm like, oh, Because we're so close to that argument, aren't we? You're walking around having a jolly old time, as I said, and then you can hear it far off, and they're like, does this make me look fat? And I'm like, oh no, isn't that just the worst thing to ask ever? As if someone would give you an honest answer to that question. First of all, no, they wouldn't, especially if they love you, right? They would, never. And some people say, well, true love is that they would actually tell you to your face. No, true love like that doesn't last. I'm not going to be the one to tell you, right? But I would argue that doesn't last. You want to be lied to. Why? Because lying is convenient. Lying is good. Lying is safe. Lying is trustworthy. I know that that's kind of a paradox, but you see what I'm saying, don't you? So when I hear this, I'm just thinking to myself, like, a couple of things here just run through my head, and I'm thinking I'm going to present them to you here today and see what you think about it. Now, first of all, if I like said person, then it probably doesn't gonna matter if you gain a few pounds or if you lose a few pounds, right? If I like you for you, I'm probably like you because of your personality, yeah? That's just me, my perspective, context yet again. But I would argue that I would tend to like a person based on their personality, not on their looks that much. Now, obviously, that is to some amount a lie. Obviously, you like someone for their, looks as well. The outside gives the inside a chance. Kind of a cliche way of saying it, and it's a very rough way of saying it, and it's a very bad way of saying it. But there is some truth in there nonetheless. But if I have gone through all the effort to actually getting to know someone and I haven't left you already, and now I'm standing in a store, potentially with kids around that I presume is yours, I hope. Otherwise you have other issues. But you're standing there in the clothing shop, your wife or your husband is in the testing room, and they're asking you, well, does this make me look fat, yeah? I honestly couldn't give a shit, yeah? Honestly, yes and no, does it make a difference? You should be losing weight, because this is obviously what it tends to derive to, right? A person is standing there asking, does this make me look fat? What I want to hear is no, obviously. Don't we all, right? We just want to hear, oh, you look beautiful, and you're just like, yes, I do. But this kind of tends to derail into the situation of, well, should I lose weight then? Do you actually think that I should lose weight if this is the case? Yeah, do you think that I should lose weight? And it's a terrible question to ask. Should I lose weight? Isn't it? I mean, isn't it really? If you think about it, should I lose weight? Isn't that like the worst question you can ever ask anyone? Or is it just me? Yeah, it's just me. What I'm thinking when I'm thinking lose weight, I'm thinking, well, I'm probably not happy with how I look. Isn't that a reason enough for me to, motivate myself to lose some weight? No? Okay. Let me rephrase this. If I truly think that I need to lose some weight, which is probably the reason for why I asked it to the room to begin with, if I'm not like someone who enjoys attention and little attention attractor, right? And let's just say that we're not. Let's just say that I have an issue with my body and how I look, so I would like to lose a few pounds, but I would like to get a second opinion. And I ask the room, or I ask someone that I love, someone, my partner in life, or in crime, or whatever, but yet again, then you have other issues. Should I lose some weight? And if they say no, then you're probably going to get pissed on them, because you have your preemptive assumption that, yes, I bloody should lose some weight. If they say yes, then they're a mean person. And when I'm found in this situation, someone asking me, because it has happened, not that the outcome was the best, but it has happened. Someone's asking me like, oh, do I look fat? And I'm like, yes. Now, I'm really mean if I say yes. It doesn't matter if they're fat or not, but if I say yes, I'm a real mean person. And I'm like, that makes no sense. They asked me for it. It's just like when kids go around and they ask other kids, can I join and play with you, mate? And there are other guys that are like, no, actually not. We don't give a shit about you. Move the fuck along, yeah? You see, those kind of interactions. And then the teachers come and they're really angry at the kids. So like, first of all, don't curse, yeah? Not good enough. But my mommy does. Well, I don't give a shit. You know that kind of interaction. when the teacher is kind of like telling these kids, saying like, well, you should let Johnny play. And they're like, but he asked us if he wanted to play, and then he has to be able to accept a no. That's like when you ask a question, it's a yes or it's a no. Otherwise, he could have just barged right in and joined us. It's kind of the same mentality when we're talking about should I lose a few pounds, isn't it? Because if you say yes yet again, you're a mean person. If you say no, it's probably going to be a big discussion until the other person is forcing you to say yes, in which you're a mean person again because they believe that they needed to lose a few pounds. It's crazy. Anyway, kind of my point here is that if you think that you should lose a few pounds, that should be a good enough reason for you. You shouldn't need to ask for a second opinion to like support you in this manner. Now, would you? Now, should you? And if you have gained a few pounds and I like you, I'm probably gonna like you either way. We're probably talking like some serious personality shifting issues that leads to obesity if I were to not like you anymore, right? Because that would change your personality, not how you look. Because if I like you, I probably don't like you. What you would say, 90% of why I like you is probably because of your personality and not your looks, right? Kind of sound like a lie, but it's probably true. I would tend to argue anyway. So I'm standing there and, that's the case. Otherwise, if I don't like you, which is even worse, people are going to say, do I look good in this? Should I lose a few pounds? I will be like, oh, darling, it doesn't matter how many pounds you would lose. You can't lose enough pounds for me to like you. And that's apparently also quite mean because people are like, am I not beautiful to you? And I'm like, no, you're really not. And that's just the base layer that you're working with. Yeah, kind of just how God created you, what the Lord gave you, however you want to say it. Your natural face, personality, looks, it's not attracted to me. It doesn't matter if you lose 100 pounds or if you gain 200 pounds or if you stay exactly the same. Probably ain't gonna make a difference. I don't think you're hot. And this is a horrendous opinion, I guess, but it's true, isn't it? I mean, we don't love everyone. If everybody loved the same person, it would be a really boring place to live in, because all men and all women would be fighting over the same man and woman, and we would live in chaos, and that would be pretty interesting for, a week until the entirety of society derailed and everybody would be depressed because one person got the other one, and if that would stop there or if they would start wars over these things, then anyway, what I'm kind of trying to say is that everybody doesn't have the same taste. Yeah, so this mentality of should I lose a few pounds to get more, good looking, because that's ultimately the goal for the person who's standing in the test tube. I was going to say the test room, to the person who's asking these questions, to the person who's just looking in the mirror thinking, I should lose a few pounds or I should gain a few pounds. That is probably because they want to look beautiful, right? Now I'm gonna break it to you, and this is the big controversial thing. If you think that I have been talking about controversial things before, then just you wait, because now we're in for a good stuff. Now we're in for the juicy bit that I really tried to get at by the note in my phone, and that is, no matter how hard you work, you're probably not gonna look good. Let's just that sink in for a while. Now, give that a good 10 seconds, yeah? I can count with you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2. Breathe out. 1. We're still angry? Yeah, we're probably still mad. But what I'm trying to say is kind of simple. And that's kind of what makes it complex. I know, the complexity within the simple of society and life as we know it. Isn't it deep? No, but what I'm trying to say is that we don't like the same people, all of us, right? I think we all can agree that we have some mates who are together with it, who have found a partner, and they're saying like, this is the most beautiful person I've ever seen. And then you see them and you're like, really? You think, I trusted your judgment before. We all have these kind of couples around us now, don't we? When we think that, oh mate, what did go wrong there? Yeah? You've given up on life. Is that a case? Are you lying to yourself? Because you can't fool me. That person looks hideous, but they truly believe that they're, wonderful. So basically, because of that exists, because of that assumption of reality, that people like other people, and different people like different people, and different people like different kinds of people, we can assume that if, for instance, I like a girl, who doesn't like me back, it shouldn't matter if I gain a few pounds or if I lose a few pounds, because her perception of me is probably going to be the same. And this is kind of something that doesn't hit home with anyone, or that doesn't hit home with that many people. Because kind of what we're taught in school, I would argue, especially in school, and by this media-friendly society, I would say, is that if you work hard enough, you too can become beautiful. Because if you think about it, that's kind of what the entire fashion industry is kind of working against or working with, right? That kind of assumption. Same with gym memberships and stuff. Now, I like going to the gym because I like working out. I think that's good for myself. However, I shouldn't go to the gym because I want to make other people, it should be because of your own reason, right? Not because of other people. Same with makeup, same with clothes and so on and so forth. It's just the guy who spent more money on his suit than his rent. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is that the mentality in society, as I see it, is that if you work hard enough, you too can become beautiful. And I would like to say, is that really the case though? Because there are some hopeless cases, in my opinion, because I can see some people and be like, wow, it doesn't really matter if you got an entire makeover of your wardrobe, your face, you got like plastic surgery, and you lost like 50 pounds or gained 50 pounds depending on your situation. You're probably still gonna look like shit. And especially after you've done all of these things, you're probably gonna look even worse because you're going to be even more unnatural. Yeah? But that's up for interpretation. And that's kind of the entire thing I'm trying to hit home with here. Is that it's up to interpretation. So can you work out, or can you work towards it? Can you work really hard to become beautiful? Yes. In one way you can, because some people are going to think that you're beautiful when you work towards trying to be beautiful in the way that you believe is beautiful, right? I mean, that's inevitable. People are going to enjoy the way you look when you believe that you're beautiful. Sad truth is, or a good truth, depending on how you see it, is that no matter if you put in all of this hard effort, there are some people who are going to think that you're really beautiful the way you are before you started putting in the effort as well. Simultaneously, there are some people who are not going to think that you're attractive no matter how much hard work you put into it. Which is harsh, but true. Because there are some people, as I said, that I don't think I would find attractive no matter how much time they put in making themselves beautiful. Harsh, but true. So what I'm trying to say here is that this entire, should I lose a few pounds, honey? Or do I look fat in this? Or do I look too skinny in this? Or whatever, right? If you kind of, when I encounter that in the store, I'm just thinking, you should just look into yourself, right? For that intrinsic motivation. You should be all about yourself. What do you think is beautiful? What do you think looks good? And that should be the deciding factor for how you choose to, approach life as you know it. Because we only live one life, right? So why not try to make the best of it as you see fit? And that should probably not be you being depressed and think about your body shape all day, because they're probably most likely, statistically speaking, going to be people who like you the way you are. And if you gain a few pounds, if you lose a few pounds, if you go up in weights at the gym, and if you go down in weights at the gym. Now, you could have a totally shit personality on the other hand, but that's a discussion for another time. But what I'm trying to say, that physically, as you look, you probably shouldn't bother that much, right? Shouldn't be having sleepless nights about this, because that's kind of the impression I got after walking around, especially after walking around in the store today, because it's the Swedish National Day. Woohoo! So there were lots of people in the stores kind of trying to, give themselves a little extra, and I was hearing this left and right in all of the clothing stores that I entered, and I was just like, wow, what a mentality to have. But yeah, I think that you're probably beautiful as you are right now. And if I can't stand for that when I see you, whoever you are, it doesn't matter how much time you put into it to make yourself look beautiful. Yeah, beautiful assessment of society today, wasn't it? Anyway, mates, you're beautiful just as you are. And if you're not, well, tough luck. You're probably not going to become more beautiful just because you put in the time, because equally as many people are going to think that you're beautiful then as you are now. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here, yeah? I'm trying to be nice, in a way. Have a nice one, mates, and I'll see you tomorrow. It's all about you.